I've reached the part in this whole like class consciousness part where I'm just filled with the most impotent rage. And like, I'm talking that white hot, I need to sink my teeth and into something and scream kind of rage. Because what do you mean that it never had to be this hard for us? Like, what do you mean in other countries they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries? What do you mean in other countries everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent, or that their mortgages aren't like their entire paycheck? What do you mean that people in China work one job and they don't even work 40 hours and they can easily afford their life? And then I'm over here working 60 hours a week, just me as a single parent, to like barely make ends meet. And I'm penny pinching every single second. And like, there's so much of life that my kid misses out on and that I miss out on because of money and like work and no social support net. And you mean to tell me that it didn't have to be like this? They keep us in these chains on purpose, and it never had to be like this. Like, I did everything right. I went to college. I had to drop out of college to take care of my mom when she was sick because, again, no social services, like, no safety nets. My dad worked his whole life and died and left everything to my mom. My mom was disabled, and she lived on credit, and, like, she barely made ends meet, and she did everything she was supposed to. And I did everything I was supposed to. And it just keeps getting worse. I've spent so much of my life working so hard to scrape by. And it never had to be like that. My suffering was at the expense of someone else becoming wealthy because they could. And I am so angry about this. It can't stay like this. It doesn't have to stay like this.
We can't have nice things because of your racism. And they are sick. They are learning that Americans have been living in squalor. White people are sick. They are learning that for 400 years, Black people lived in slavery. They are realizing that they are too slaves. They are sick. They are twisted. Listen, when Donald Trump came out and said, "Why do we keep getting people from these shithole countries?" my response was, "Bitch, America is the shithole country. And white people are learning the truth. For the past 4 years, they've been fighting woke."
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are diving into something real and raw, honestly long overdue. Let's talk about how white folks are just realizing that Black American dream, it's now broken, and not just for Black people anymore. For decades, Black Americans have been told we are lazy, that we need to work harder, that we complain too much. We have been fighting poverty, lack of health care, underpaid jobs, and schools that looks like prison. But now the tables are turning. White working class families are losing homes. They are struggling to pay rent, drowning in medical bills, and getting laid off from jobs that once felt secure. Now, all of a sudden, now America wants to talk about mental health, food insecurity, and economic depression. But when it hits white suburbia, suddenly it's international crisis. This is not about laughing at anyone's pain. It's about pointing out how America only seems to care when the faces of suffering is white. Black folks told you all that the system was broken. Now, white folks are seeing it for themselves.
American dream.
Because the American dream is dead.
The average home in the United States costs $418,000. Do you know anyone making that much money? Do you know anyone? Do you know anyone that started a business that's not drop shipping or like some sort of AI gig economy? Like, do you know anyone that owns a store? Name 2 people. Do you know anyone that our age that owns a house that did not get help from their parents? Like, there's no jobs. All the listings are fake. Jobs don't even offer healthcare. So then you're on Medicaid, you get kicked off because the big beautiful bill that just got passed. The American dream is dead. And then they tell you you're not working hard enough. Like, make it make sense to me. So props to this creator for just verbalizing that, because I empathize 100%. You're not doing enough. America's not doing enough for you.
You're not struggling because you're poor. You're struggling because you live in the USA. You're struggling because prices have gone up tremendously, but the wages haven't. You're struggling because your bills continue to increase, but your wages haven't. You're struggling because you have greedy, corrupt CEOs of companies that are continuing to record record profits, but are refusing to pay their workers a livable wage. You're struggling because the country that prints money won't give that money back to its people. You're struggling because the country that is in $37 trillion and counting worth of debt somehow finds a way to give billions of dollars to fund new wars, but won't find any money to fund the poor. You're struggling because this country is stealing 30 to 40% of your income, if not more. You're struggling because after this country wrongfully took 30 to 40% of your income, they're telling you to pay more during tax season. You're struggling because homes that used to cost $150,000 to $200,000 10 to 15 years ago are now costing $400,000, if not $500,000. You're struggling because those starter homes that used to be seen as affordable are now being bought by large corporations. You're struggling because rent was under $1,000 10 to 15 years ago is now costing almost $3,000 for a 1-bedroom. You're struggling because these greedy landlords continue to increase the rent. You're struggling because a $100 grocery bill 10 to 15 years ago will get you a huge haul, will now only get you a few things in 2025. You're struggling because the gas that you used to fill up your car used to be $1 and some change per gallon is now almost $4 a gallon. You're struggling because the cost of having a good time and living life has gone up tremendously. An airplane ticket used to be $200 round trip is now $400 one way. It used to cost under $1,000 to enjoy a vacation. Now it's costing almost $3,000 to $4,000 depending on where you go. You're struggling because you're forced to get a second job just to make ends meet as things continue to skyrocket. You're struggling because the American dream is no longer the American dream. It's the American nightmare.
Is anyone else completely sick and tired of living in America where you're expected to work your entire life? Like, we are not here to work. Our jobs are not our lives. Our jobs are not our purpose. Like, everyone asks me, like, what's your job? What are you doing with your life? Like, I'm just trying to save enough and get passive income so I can go travel the world and start my life. Like, everyone thinks their purpose is to work. Like, you get done with high school, then you go to college for 4 years, then you're $30,000 in debt, and then you're trying to find a job just so you can pay off that debt over the next 3 years. And then what? Then you're making enough money just to pay your mortgage and afford groceries and then pay for kids. And then before you know it, you're 60 and you're retiring and your body hurts because of your job and you didn't do anything that you wanted to do. And that's our life. That's what you're expected to do. And if you break out of that, then people are going to judge you and think you're weird or you're crazy or you're a hippie. I'm so sick of it. America needs to make a change. Something needs to change because people are not happy here. People are not living their dreams. People are not living their life. They are working. They think that their work is their life. It is not that way.
What's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore?
The American dream. You get up at 5 in the morning, rush to be out of the house at 5:30, try to make it to work at 6. You work a 12-hour shift. In those 12 hours, you take crap from your managers and coworkers. You eat at whatever time they say that you can eat for the amount of time that you can eat. You have sick days, but if you use them, it's frowned upon. So if you want to aspire to be anything within the company, try not to use them. Then you work until you're 62 years old. You pay bills until you die, and you're expected to be grateful. Forgive me, but that it doesn't make any sense. And don't get me wrong, I'm grateful that I can go out to work to provide for my house. In fact, the Bible says that he who does not work should also not eat. So I'm in favor of hard work. What I'm not in favor of, though, is abuse. People putting their jobs in factories before their own health. When they don't need you anymore, you're gone. But if you want to leave, you better put in those 2 weeks. So yeah, it's a scam.
If anyone has noticed yet, but America is getting super expensive to live in. Prices that were once maybe under $200,000 for a house are now in the mid $400,000 to $600,000
range. And I've also noticed that wages aren't going up. The wages are sticking to the same amount. You still have people out here who are getting paid less than $15 an hour. It's going to get to the point to where unless you're rich, you're not going to be able to afford in a house in America unless you get like some type of life insurance policy on your folks, or you get somebody to leave you some type of trust fund. If you're coming out of this new generation, you're not going to be able to buy a house. Your children are not going to be able to purchase a home. It's getting to the point to where things are just, the prices are getting outrageous. I just looked online and it's $18 at some restaurants for a hamburger. McDonald's no longer has a dollar menu. This is not the same America that we grew up in, to where people could achieve the American dream. Things are completely overpriced. Nothing's affordable. Groceries are through the roof. If you're renting something, rent prices are through the roof. Mortgage rates are at extreme all-time highs. It's going to get to the point to where nobody's going to be able to afford to live in a house in America. You're just going to have a lot of houses that are for sale that nobody's going to be purchasing.
Well, that was a waste of fucking time and energy I don't have. Like, I'm just so over it. I'm so frustrated. They tell me, oh, well, this certain level, something I've never heard of before in my life. It has never been brought to my attention ever in all of my medical history. Never has this level of this, whatever this stuff is, ferritin, whatever that is, has it ever been off? And she's like, usually these levels are only off because of liver disease, but your liver levels seem to be okay. Let's give you another pill, an appetite enhancer, even though it doesn't matter about the enhancing of the appetite, because it's the pain and the sickness when I do have an appetite and I do eat that's the problem. Oh, you're just going to have to try to make it to your gastro appointment next month. Well, if my heart gives out, my heart gives out. Like, they don't care. Our system is so fucked that they don't care. I literally said, please give me a feeding tube, like anything. I'm just so over it. I am so over it. I won't give up. I won't quit fighting, but I've been fighting so long, it's exhausting. Like, they just let you die. They just let you die. I love y'all.
I'm tired. I'm so tired of the United States. It's so ghetto, and every day gets a little bit harder to function. I'm talking about, I don't understand how I am struggling in these United States and I make decent money. Like I don't do anything. I don't have debt. I put myself through school. Again, I put myself through school, and I owe the IRS every year. I own my own home. My car is paid off. I don't go out. I don't have friends. I'm a loner. There's a few people I talk to. I don't understand. Like, I have no debt. There's no debt I have, you guys. I don't owe anybody. Like, I'm just trying to understand, how am I struggling? I make decent money. I put money to the side for retirement, and then everything else is for bills. Like, how am I struggling? Like, I live below my means. Like, I stopped buying clothes. I stopped buying shoes and all of these fancy things. I don't go out. I don't purchase unnecessary items. Like, I am no longer a consumer, because when I was a consumer, it did me no good. Like, I have all of these things and nothing to show for it, right? So I stopped buying things, right? And I'm trying to understand, how am I struggling? When I was buying things, I felt like I was doing good. And now that I'm not buying things, I feel like I'm struggling. Like, how does this work in these United States? Like, I don't understand. Like, I live below my means. The only expense I would say I would have is, I do my own hair, and I go get my nails and my feet done every 2 weeks, right? That's it. I'm trying to understand how my grocery bill goes from $400 a month to $1,000 a month. I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying to understand how my electric bill goes from $155 to $800 in 1 month. No past due balance. I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying to understand how my internet goes from $75 to $140, and that is the lowest plan. I don't understand. I'm just not. I'm not processing these United States, and I make decent money. Okay, I make decent money. And I saw a video today where a girl said that she makes $100,000 a year, and after taxes, she brings home about $70,000, and she's struggling. And I'm like, baby, if you're struggling, then I'm poor.
But let me say this could be a moment of unity if we let it. If poor white families stop voting against their own interests and standing with black and brown and working class people, maybe we can change something, because poverty is not a race issue and the system is built to keep all of us struggling while the top gets richer. Anyway, guys, these are just my opinion, and I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video to help the channel out. See you in the next one. Bye.